Welcome back to Taming the Perilous Skies. Check-in on day 91 of 100 days to launch. And so this week we're in the theme of finding your reader. And so I did something yesterday I told you about, which was to learn how readers think of stories like this and where they should fit. But what I really wanted to do today was go into the persona or the avatar of the ideal reader. Who are they, right? What are they looking for? And so the purpose of this is to make sure that, they're going to find what they're looking for. And I haven't done any of the stupid things that would basically prevent them from glomming on, right? That reader, the avatar of that reader would not reject my work. Okay, so ChatGPT Deep Research went in there and I said, here's the broad strokes of my work. Here's several comparable works. See yesterday's video for a lot of the comparable works. And I said, I want you to research what it is that really makes these readers tick, and ticked off. And so it actually was, on the one hand, it was obvious. On the other hand, it was pretty telling, in that, they have certain, profile characteristics. I'll share some of them with you. Of course, they're hard sci-fi fans, right? So they want something that's scientifically based. They want something that's technologically based, something that's truly plausible, something that's backed up by science, by technology, something that has depth to it. They also, they require an intellectual honesty around it, which I thought was really a very interesting thing to say. And so a few other attributes of these folks, they want to make sure it's gender neutral, like it's not something that's slanted or biased in any way, that all the characters are thriving despite whatever background they might have, and they are voracious consumers of speculative fiction media. That's no surprise, and not just hard sci-fi, but also speculative thrillers, which mine. Speculative thriller, I don't put it in that category. Sci-fi adventure or adventurous sci-fi, yes. Hard sci-fi, of course. And so they adore books that balance science and big philosophical questions, which is awesome. But they also like wit and genre bleeding. Okay, like Murderbot Diaries. I don't know what that means, genre bleeding, but wit, right? So Martha Wells, Murderbot, right? Project Hail Mary. The Martian, Andy Weir's works, Scalzi's works, of course, but those aren't necessarily hard sci-fi, right? So maybe they are, kind of, not really. Anyway, wit, I love that. So this audience really appreciates that. Their professional and creative life. It says here that most of them come from a science, technology, engineering, and whatever M stands for, STEM background. And I thought about that, and I'm like, yeah, I guess what? White, suburban, rich kids that, have nothing better to do with their time. No, this is about our universe here. This is about imagination. This is about the art of the possible and what might the world be like if, and there is, I'm sorry, no human on earth that wouldn't appreciate that story. So I'm going to reject that pigeonholing of the reader here in that case. I think that they come from all walks, inner city, outside of city, here in the rural, outskirts, the hinterlands of Oregon. Yes, I did go to the city, but dumped today to take in my trash. It's very cathartic. It's also what us country people do. So intellectual stimulation, strong, relatable characters with a dash of humor, thrilling page-turning plot. This is all no real great surprise. They don't want it to be hand-wavy, right? It can't be derivative. It can't be hand-wavy. It can't. And by the way, let me just say, in order for me to actually hone in on the culprit, on the actual cause of the fall of 2076, that took far longer than I wish it would have. They don't want shallow characters. These have to be fully developed characters. Like the inventor of anti-gravity can't be a throwaway, ridiculous, irreverent old guy. Oh, sorry. So nothing formulaic, nothing clichéic. These are real thinkers, right? I mean, that's the thing. They will really appreciate that intellectual honesty, but also depth of work. And so that is what Taming the Perilous Skies represents. And so No overhyping. Yike. Okay, try not to. And they want complexity. Good. I like complexity. I like math. I like quantum encryption. I like how anti-gravity came about with Sam Cam. You'll read about that. Okay. So what else? Reignite their sense of wonder while keeping them thoroughly entertained. Yes, that's what it's all about. Okay. So anyway, today's work was to create an avatar, a persona, what they like, what they don't like, and making sure that if you're going to fit into that category, right, or subcategory, sci-fi adventures or hard sci-fi or techno thriller, make sure you're living up to that expectation. So, personas, go and create one for your reader. You've just heard what Taming the Perilous Skies reader would be, and I'm hoping for that. I'm banking on it. All right, till tomorrow.